Welcome to installment number 2 of Life on a Seed Farm. I'm Casey. You're at Earthly Delights Farm. We're one of 17 small family farmers that grow seeds for Snake River Seed Co-op. So I was just checking out this rad chard. This is the first time we've been able to have chard over winter. Chard's a biennial, so it has to go through a winter before it will make seed. And so we're getting, this is our first time we've had that. I think our hard winter that left snow on the ground the whole time helped us to get the chard through the winter. And so now we have a little patch that's going to seed. Very exciting to me. And then there's some kale there that overwintered and is going to seed too. But I want to show you some other stuff that's exciting as well. Let's walk this way. As we're walking this way, you'll notice over there there's some black tents. Those are isolation cages. Those are for tomatoes and peppers, and there's a little white one beyond there you can see. We put tomatoes and peppers and eggplants and stuff like that in there that can cross-pollinate by insects, but they don't need insects, so they're self-pollinating. So we can put them in there and keep the insects off of them for a while. And the reason that matters is because summer on a seed farm is all about managing plant sex. Who's doing it with who? We have to keep who we want doing it with who we want to do it with, and keep them from not doing it with the ones we don't want them to do it with. For example, this broccoli, looking beautiful. You might have noticed on that kale that we looked at that the kale still has a few flowers on it. Well, if the broccoli's flowering at the same time as the kale, those are both brassica oleracea, and they'll cross-pollinate with each other. So we get some kale-broccoli cross. If we want kale, we have to just have kale flowering, and if we want broccoli, we have to just have broccoli flowering. So we've been walking through here a few times a week, breaking off any flowers that might start to come on these broccolis until the kale is done flowering. And then next week, we'll start letting the broccoli flower, and we'll start breaking off any last flowers on the kale. And that's pretty much what we do out here. We just wander around and try to keep all the things doing it with who they want to do it with, or who we want them to do it with, and not with anyone we don't. So there's some Miss Spuna there, that's a Brassica rapa. It's alive with pollinators. Let's walk down here and check it out. Because the bees, you know, they're just looking to get good food. They don't care that they're cross-pollinating one thing with another. But on here you can see there's just tons of different pollinators. There's honeybees, there's a bunch of little native bees, there's solitary bees, sweat bees, all sorts of cool stuff out here. And I don't know all about it, what they all are, but I do know it's fun to see a huge diversity of bees on these things. And then, oh, as long as we're here, let's look at this. So this is spinach going to seed, and spinach is really cool because it's dioecious, which means that the plant is either male or female, but you don't know whether it's a male or female until it starts to flower and go to seed. So like this guy right here, he's a male, he produces the pollen. If I knock at him a little bit, you can see all that pollen coming off of there. Spinach is wind pollinated, so it doesn't make big showy flowers like flowers that plants that need insects to pollinate them. It just needs to produce a shit ton of pollen so that then these little females will get pollinated, and then they make the seeds right there on the stalk. So you can see the difference right here between the male and the female. Pretty cool, huh? I don't know. I think it's beautiful out here. We just get tons of flowers all the time, which is really good for pollinators. That's one of the exciting things about having seeds on a farm rather than just fresh vegetables. Yeah, it's just fun to see the plant go through their whole life cycle. So stay tuned. We'll come back in again in the fall, and we'll look at harvesting and all that kind of